not buying the game. You're buying the license to play the game. Somebody in the comment section, tell me right now, you own your digital library. You actually do not own anything in your digital library. It's July 1st, and I was looking to sleep in today. I did so much last month. I was grinding like crazy on multiple channels, going crazy on Twitch. We did nearly 100 hours of live streaming. Like, we was just grinding for the community, everything. And then I got to wake up today. I was trying to sleep till like 2, but it's already 12. I wake up. Wifey's tapping me on my shoulder. She goes, babe. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? What happened? And she's telling me, you're not going to believe what happened on Twitter. And so for me, I wake up, eyes open. What happened, GTA? And I'm tripping because I've been covering so much GTA news. I'm like, did something happen? On a Wednesday? What? And I'm tripping because then all of a sudden, she tells me PlayStation announces they will no longer be releasing physical media, physical copies in January of 2028. And I got up and I said, huh? And then wifey proceeds to just keep pouring more negativity and goes, yeah, I think I'm gonna take the day off, so I'm not gonna do my nails today. I just want to relax. And I feel like that was contributed to you, to PlayStation. I feel like you contributed. Not because I want to pay for her nails, because I wanted a day off. I wanted to relax. I was gonna get on the Discord and I was gonna get with my community and help me out with changing up all my alerts on motherfucking Twitch. Now I see that she's gonna stay home and she's gonna relax. And I have no problem with her relaxing. I just thought she was gonna go out and go do her fucking nails. All right? And then the worst happens. I turn around. I'm like, baby, good? She goes, Kingdom Hearts 4. And I'm like, what, that got announced? She goes, no. Is it gonna be digital? I said, babe, you crying? I said, babe, you crying? You crying? She started crying. She teared up. I had to console her. I said, what the fuck is happening? Am I dead? I said, am I dead? I said, babe, you good? I said, oh shit, babe, my bad. She goes, this is just bullshit. Like, why the fuck is this happening? She goes, this is so dumb. She goes, I'm gonna go watch the World Cup. I think somebody's playing right now. I don't know, bro. But like, and I said this on purpose because I understand there's a meme-ass culture going on right now with all these news. And I understand that like this news right here is gonna create generational meme and hate for the next few months with people having an opinion. Right now, if you have an opinion of like why you disagree with this and why you wish they still had physical media, let you just understand that the movie physical media creators, they've got the short end of the stick as well, but I could tell their communities and comment sections aren't as bad, nearly as bad as gaming digital creators or gaming digital gamers, or whatever you want to call them. And let's actually break this down, but I do want to make it very clear. One of the first reasons, because I don't know how far you guys are going to watch the video, but one of the first reasons as to why this is completely shit is, for one, instability with online. If God forbid there's any maintenance going on, God forbid there's any storms going on, or somewhere around the world something happens and PlayStation goes down, you can't play your game. You can't even think about playing your game. The way these consoles are operating today, a lot of these games are running off of the ability of you having to be online and all this other stuff when you're purchasing a digital game, because they need to confirm that you are the owner of this digital license. That is the problem today. So when you have a physical game and there's maintenance, you can still pop that game in. It's physical. But if you have a digital game, they can't verify that you're the owner. I don't want to hear about no loopholes. I don't want to hear about, hey, but there's ways to go about. There shouldn't be no fucking way for me to loophole to get in. Because another problem is that you actually don't own your games when it's digital. You don't. That's why there's lawsuits going on with Ubisoft. People will be like, but I used to digital all the time. Guess what though? Even though you know you might have a physical game, you may not never touch it again, that is still yours to keep. You're paying for a glorified GameFly subscription pretty much when you're subscribing to a digital game, and there's no time or expiration on how long you can actually keep that game. because just so happens Sony removed like 500 movies the other day. And if you're one of those people that own Terminator and other movies, you no longer own that digital piece of media. But let's talk about it, because this is actually crazy news. So PlayStation puts out a tweet and says, here, check this out, guys. We're about to screw you in the butt, but check this out. And it says physical disc production will be ending January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. In response to shifting trends in consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation stores and at retailers in digital formats. So they aren't saying that they're not dropping physical cases with the code inside. They may be doing a Nintendo, but as far as disc production, it's a GG. It's over. It's because of cost. I even argue like that they use GTA as a needle to push this in the culture forward, because even though Mario Kart had this going on, I still didn't see other companies doing this or following suit until Grand Theft Auto 6 was announced and we realized that it was a digital only game. Seriously, it's like GTA. That's why all these companies, I feel like they're all in cahoots. I think PlayStation probably told Rockstar, hey, listen, there's no need to drop this in a physical, because in 2028, we're going to have the PS6 already out. There's going to be we're not doing digital. We're not doing physical discs. You guys can utilize this money to market on our console, on our platform. You guys don't have to release a disc. And Rockstar was the first ones to do it, like to a major company to do it within the PlayStation Xbox branch, because again, nobody was really moving the needle when Mario Kart had done it. Plus, because it was bundled with the Switch 2, people basically paid $50 for it. And if you in the Switch 2, it was basically a flagship title that came out with the console. So if you bought the game separate, I'm only assuming that there was Switch 2 sold out and you had nothing left to do but just buy like the game first and then the console separate. It was literally bundled with it and you got it for like $50. So there was a big difference there. But let's continue reading. This is insane. As consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical disc to digital, physical game disc production for all new game releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on the PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impact on the games that are already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in disc format. So, of course, any game that's dropping before January 28 will be releasing physical. But there's also something to take note here. Now that companies like Square Enix, who struggled financially, you guys know they had so many companies they had to sell, so many IPs they had to sell. They don't have no rights to Hitman anymore. They don't have no rights to Tomb Raider anymore. They really folded because of how much games they were releasing that failed, and they barely did any marketing. This will be a great thing for them, but we all wanted to see Kingdom Hearts physical. We all wanted to see the opportunity to get a physical copy of Kingdom Hearts. It's been years, right? And in this case right here, even though PlayStation is saying they're going to stop producing in 2028 disc format, in my head, I was wondering, was that exclusives or is that just in general? Because Square Enix right now can decide, you know what, we'll just go digital with Kingdom Hearts. Call of Duty could decide right now, you know what, we'll just go digital with our game leading up to 28. This just opened up the door for that conversation. I'm just reporting the news to you guys, but I am going to continue to tell you guys why this is horrible news. And so let's just continue reading and then we'll get to that. It says this is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to consumer trends as the general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical discs. This transition will enable us to align more closely with how most of our community prefers to access and play games today. So yes, obviously physical media don't sell the same compared to digital. We understand that. We know this. It's way more convenient to go in a digital store midnight versus having people at GameStop sell a disc. And GameStop is definitely going out of business in January 2028. But like to have a midnight release for no reason when people can literally pre-order, pre-install, pre-download, preload their games days before. They read the data. I'm thinking it has to do with tariffs and cost. I don't know. We just don't know the absolute truth. I know some of it has to do with tariffs, with the RAM shortages, and these consoles are priced at just a high margin. And then you got games that are being priced at a high margin being developed. We're in a shitty ass time right now. It's really bad. We'll continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovation in how players can access games and provide choices as to where players prefer to purchase new games, whether that's at retailers or PlayStation Store. We remain committed to delivering world-class gaming experiences to our fans, and we thank you for your continued support. This is by Sid Schumann, who is the Senior Director of, excuse me, of Sony Interactive Entertainment Content Communications. This sucks. This absolutely sucks. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Look, nobody could troll me. You can't troll me in the comments and say whatever comment you want to say, being negative about it and acting like you made a crazy joke, like you just cooked somebody. No, like that don't matter. Let me just separate myself from the average consumer, because unfortunately, and to some degree, I guess fortunately, because I've had the pleasure now to gaining access to things earlier than most people, I'm gonna just break it to you guys. I have more of a digital library, just like many of you, than I do physical. All right, I'm gonna show you guys. Look, I got the Warriors on PS2. I still have it. I still got the Warriors on PS2. I got a closed copy of Nightmare Creatures. It still got the plastic wrap on it. This is one of my favorite games as a kid. This is my first horror game that I've ever played. It was made by David Vonderhaar and Treyarch, the guys who made Call of Duty Black Ops. So this was one of my favorite games. It scared me as heck as a kid. I had to pick this up years ago. Then, of course, movies. I started collecting my movies again. And I got all these editions for Halloween and stuff like that. I started collecting my movies again and stuff like that, of course. I still got Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I still got Need for Speed Most Wanted, obviously, Black Edition. I got Dragon Ball Z Budokai, of course. And then I got Haunting Ground, excuse me. I still have this. Now, I got this at a thrift store, and the person that sold it to me gave it to me at a low price because I bought a Super Nintendo when I had got this game. This game is actually quite expensive. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that until watching some people's videos. But look, let me break this down. Just because I have those physical medias, that doesn't necessarily mean I have to use those games. As well as, actually, if I'm not mistaken, oh yeah, and I lost the case due to me moving, but I still have Blister League 2. You can't use emulation for Blister League 2. It just doesn't work on any platform. Blister League 2 does not work on any emulator, any emulator. So I have the physical version of this. And the reason why a lot of this stuff started is tariffs and this right here, RAM shortages, okay? These 4 sticks of RAM cost me a total of $225. Chat, if you look it up today, the Vengeance 3600, this is DDR4. I use DDR5 now. This is 128 gigs of DDR4 at 3600 megahertz, okay? If you look at the 64 and 64, the prices, $1,800. $1,800 for this. I'm basically sitting on a gold mine here, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with the world? Like, the industry is being pulled. The industry is in shambles right now. We're in a bad spot. But let's actually break down and talk about why this is bad, bro. Like, this is horrible fucking news. Understand, for collectors, they'll be able to get the physical case, but I understand their gripes. I understand their issue with it, physical media and stuff like that. But by the way, both the Xbox Helix and the new PlayStation 6 will be digital only. There's no disc drive coming to those consoles. So I understand collectors, but I'm sorry to say this. This is way bigger than collectors, the issues that collectors have. This has to do with how you align your purchases, the availability, the accessibility, and the stability of your library of games. Bro, how many times have our apps crashed, or there was internet, PlayStation Network was down, and you're not even able to play the single player of a game? Not only that, because of what Ubisoft did a couple years ago, where they removed the crew from your Ubisoft account, and people were starting to sue because there were still people playing it today. The fact that you don't have the ownership of these digital games where you can burn them on a disc or a USB, they can remove shit at any time because we don't know the license that they have. If you love GTA 4, understand, if you play GTA 4 now at its current update, some of the worst music ever. You know why? Because there's barely music in it. Over the years, the license expired for their music, so they dropped an update in GTA 4, which removed half of their library. But if you have the physical copy, you have every ounce of media that was ever printed on that game, on that disc. I think people look at it. I've seen a comment, and there was one comment, look, and I don't like to disrespect, but I've seen a comment, and it said, bro, like, you guys are whining anyway. You guys are crying about this. Listen, I got a crazy digital library collection. Yeah, kind of, but not really, because you don't necessarily own your digital library. Let somebody, if you made it this far, somebody in the comment section, tell me right now you own your digital library. You actually do not own anything in your digital library. You own nothing whatsoever in your digital library. Steam already made it very clear. These platforms already made it very clear. They have the opportunity to let you guys know that there's a chance these games could get removed and get delisted. That's why there's a lot of games that are so expensive if you try to buy the physical copy or buy a CD key for Steam, because they've been delisted, been removed from these stores and no longer marketable to be downloaded or purchased, unless you probably find somebody at a Facebook marketplace or something like that. But digital wise, you're cooked. This comment on my video said, who cares, whatever, people got to start like changing to this current era. We're in a new era of digital, which nobody's disagreeing. We all understand that we're in the era of digital, but I feel like he was going towards the physical collectors, and it almost looked like it created a trigger for him. And he was talking about the real reason why this is good is because sometimes you could get a game and your disc is broken. Like when you hit me with like some dense ass shit like that with some ditzy ass response, you're not the guy that I want to be in a room with to have a discussion with. We be having thousands of people watching the videos. I want to have a crazy conversation with you guys in the chat about just how you guys feel about it. What do you guys think about this? Whereas the physical content, like the physical media, you'll get this, right? And next thing you know, you'll be like, man, this shit comes with so much features. Let me pop this in, let me see this. Even if you don't, you just feel like you get a better value. You've been paying full price for digital games, whereas when you pre-order the physical version, sometimes you often get extra stuff with it. And when you don't get it with the digital version, people don't even realize they've been getting scammed. Like that's what really happens. Not only that, we're paying more money now for games. Grand Theft Auto 6 costs $80 and $100. Somebody's gonna probably say, don't cry now. Well, for me, I'm gonna have to, let me break this to you. One of the greatest opportunities and pleasures that I have right now is that I don't necessarily pay for all my games anymore. I really don't. I can't sit here and lie to you guys. I've had the opportunity to be given codes through my management team, through my agency. They send me codes. They don't even look for me to like do sponsorships for them. Like, I mean, sometimes I might get an opportunity. Of course, you got to make your money, you know what I'm saying? But most times it's through the passion. So I'm not really hindered by this. Like, I'm not hindered. I'm not affected by it, like monetarily, financially. But that doesn't mean it doesn't bother me to see that we're heading in a direction where games are starting to cost way too much and you're receiving very little for them. To pay $100 for an Ultimate Edition, you would assume we was gonna get a special case. We don't even get a case for the Ultimate Edition of GTA. No special case. We don't get a slip cover. We don't get extra discs. We're getting a physical case with a map because it's been confirmed, and you just get a code to install the game. We are heading in a direction where we are paying more money for games, and you're getting just very little, bro. It's just the nature of it. And again, I can't stress this enough. You cannot access your digital library if there's some real stability problems happening on the PlayStation Network. Unless they announce once you download it, you can have it locked into the account, even if we're down, even if the console is going through maintenance, sure. But the reason why they won't do that is simple. They don't want to risk getting modded and hacked. They always getting hacked. PlayStation Network stay getting hacked. And the moment they get hacked on the PS5 to where your games are just on a hard drive and you can literally transfer it all to a USB, they're fucked. Because that just ruined the PlayStation 3, that ruined the Vita, that ruined the PS4 now because you can hack it, that ruined all their consoles. It just ruined their consoles. So they're not going to make it easy for anybody. This is bad. I've been rambling, but this is horrible news. Now, lastly, I wrote a short little list, man, because I wanted to make sure that I hit the nail on this. I might include some of this in the intro so that you guys can see what I'm basically going to say towards the end. These are some of the reasons why I feel like this is just some of the most horrible business practices, and PlayStation should go in this route. They're not looking at it like they're benefiting the consumer. They looked at what would benefit them because of the data that's shown that people are buying digital faster. Well, granted, of course, when you pre-order, you get access 3 days early. Granted, if you pre-order, you get access to a fucking beta. Granted, if you access, you get a week early, early access. Yes, you're using all these tactics, to entice the player to get it early, so they're willing to spend that extra $20. Now, one of the main reasons, as I already mentioned, lack of ownership, bro. You're not buying the game. You're buying the license to play the game. So when you buy that license, there's a chance that that license can expire. PlayStation just announced the PS3 and the Vita's online is getting wiped this year. All the PlayStation Store is getting wiped this year. So you no longer have access to the PlayStation Store, the no resale market. I'm not really bothered about this. I see how people are selling games like that Haunting Grounds game that I just showed right there. The Haunting Ground game that I showed by Capcom is a truly expensive game, and people are trying to resell that shit for a high price. I understand that shit. I get it. And I'm not a big fan of resellers. So, you know, but again, it just really hinders that. GameStop is not going to benefit no more. We don't know if they're going to go into the trading card space fully because physical games, they're cooked, okay? Higher prices and monopolies. Due to this fact, it's like these prices, they're matching all prices of their competitors. And as a consumer, you really don't benefit. Again, I've been buying digital for the last 15 years, but I understand why this is bad practice. When you start realizing that PlayStation's dropping Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 this month in the PlayStation Store, and they're charging $40 per, it's crazy. $40 per, $10 per DLC. It's absurd, okay? Now, you have also to depend on internet and internal storage. For anybody out there who got bad internet, I feel bad in certain countries. Some people got really bad internet. They go look to buy a physical game. It may take you days to install this bitch. Games are bigger than ever before with their storage. Also, because of storage, even if things go wrong, your shit can get corrupted and you can lose access to your games. It's just as simple as that. It's happened many times. And lastly, game delisting, which I had mentioned. Games get delisted all the time. You know how many games I have that are delisted? I have Deadpool, The Amazing Spider-Man. I have the Marvel's Avengers game, which is ass. But I have so many games that are delisted. I still got Silent Hills PT, the demo. Like, do you understand how expensive that is to have that on your console? I still have mine installed. But games get delisted all the time. And people don't realize how bad that is. Now, if you have it already, you have ownership, that's it, you're good. But if there's ever a time where the license to these games expire, it's over. It's over. They could remove the game, and under the fine print that we all scrolled down and spammed X or A to get to the next menu, we didn't read that if the license expires, they have every right to remove the game from our library. You guys choose. This is bad news to me. Drop your comments below. This is fucking crazy. I love you guys. Bye.